you ever wondered what it takes to organize a dance event? Well, I'm about to give you a step-by-step process. Hello my beautiful subscribers, Rasa the dancer is here. And through many years of my experience as a dancer, believe it or not, I've been involved in a lot of events, and I actually organize quite a few of them myself, and it's not easy. And a lot of the people who come to the event, they just assume if they see people there, the promoters are making money. Or some promoters think that just because they organize an event, suddenly is going to be successful. And not a lot of people actually understand what it takes. So if you ever wanted to organize an event, hopefully this is going to be helpful, and maybe you will see certain things that you weren't thinking about, and it will help you to do it better. And if you're not thinking of organizing an event, but you always wondered, what is it that it takes to organize one when you go out dancing? Well, this will be educational for you too. So let's get it started. Alright, so first, of course, you have an idea that you want to organize a dance event. So it doesn't matter whether the idea is salsa, bachata, kizomba, all of them, or you have something unique in mind. The first thing, you have that idea and you want to do it. Now, first, what I'm going to say, if you've done events before, and they've been successful and you did great, this might not necessarily be an important point for you. But if it's your first time organizing, the number one thing is to have money before you start organizing the event. Now, to have money doesn't mean a lot of money, but you have to have some that you know you're gonna have to spend and put deposits and whatever. Now, a lot of the people make mistake and they think I'm gonna organize the event, and as the people start booking, then I will start paying off all of the things that I need to pay off. And they just assume that if they organize an event, the people will come. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. And if they do, there might not be enough. Or if there is enough, there might be other things that you didn't think of that you suddenly need to pay for. And the first people who suffer are the teachers, that promise the money and they suddenly will not get paid. Then of course the venues and this and whatever, and people might be having a good time in an event and have no idea that everybody else is angry. So how do we get money? You whether find somebody who loves dancing events and would love to invest. You whether have a little bit more time, give yourself a year or two, and you save up some money for the event that you always wanted to organize. You whether have a little small loan, we're not talking a loan like taking a house. It's a little bit smaller that will get you started. Or maybe there's some people or friends or family who believe in you, but you have to have something, at least your own savings, at least something to start. So that's the number one thing that is, I believe, so important, because you think it's just all gonna turn out to be fine, and that's not how we run business. Now let's say you have a good idea and you have enough money, you think, to just get things rolling for the most important things, and now you need a venue. So the venue depends. If it's a one-day event, you will need one kind of venue. If you're doing a weekend, it's 3 days, or if you're doing a holiday, which is 7 days, you're gonna need a different kind of venue, and it comes other expenses accordingly to that. Now, in terms of venues, it's so complicated because these days venues already know that salsa people, they don't necessarily drink at the bar and this and that. So you're gonna have to have a deposit, and to find a venue that is actually reasonably priced and has a dance floor that you don't need to put in, or a hotel that would be okay to give you the rooms if people need to stay there, and so many details, is extremely complicated. And that's one of the obstacles you would have to overcome. You would have to go through numerous of locations, have all kinds of deals, give all kinds of incentives, see how much you can compromise and how much is worth your while. Talk to many different friends and family members and other dancing people, maybe they know some sort of events, venues for the events. But that is the second really, really big struggle, is to find an appropriate venue when you wouldn't get out of pocket. And as I say, depending on how big the event is what kind of different situations you're gonna have. Now you have a venue and you need to think about, first of all, the music, because without the music there is no dancing. Now if you picked a venue that actually have a surround system and whatever, that's great, where you could just plug in and the speakers are already there and everything, that's great. But if you don't, you have to either rent it out or you have to book a DJ who would have his own equipment, right? That's very important. And before you book an event, the venue, you need to actually think whether the cost for the venue actually is good because they have all of the equipment. Because when you get a DJ with equipment, they're gonna charge you extra because they bought that equipment. So they're gonna be renting it out for you anyway, or you would have to rent it out separately. So that's an important part. You need music, so you have to make sure you have good sound. And if the venue already has the surround system, you have to check it, because sometimes it is just not good enough. So don't be just like, oh great, just check it first, plug in your phone if necessary, and just see what actually turns out when you're listening to the music. So the surrounding system, and then where they're gonna need some lights or something to create an atmosphere, all of that also is super important, because without the music and the vibe, there is no party. Now you need teachers who will, or separate DJs as well. If you're gonna have music playing and you don't want to put a playlist, you have to have a DJ, one or two, depending whether it's one night event or 2 or 3 day event. Then of course the teachers are the ones that actually will make the party happen, make the people happy, and hopefully will make people come back for more events. When you're booking teachers, you have to also look at the cost. Sometimes we want whatever is very famous, but those are not the people that necessarily will attract the people in your venue. A lot of the times, like let's say I live in London, if I want people to come, I would have to bring a name that everybody knows, because in London the scene is huge, people travel a lot, they get exposed to a lot of famous people, so the name is important. But if you are somewhere in a smaller town or a smaller city or a smaller country, like an island or something, then the big name is not important. What is important, that you bring somebody that you know that the people will have the best time ever with, right? So you want to make sure that you bring teachers who would, dance with their people, and they are super positive and all of the rest. So booking those teachers are important. Everybody charges differently. What I would recommend, also talk to other promoters if they ever booked that teacher, just to speak and, oh, how much did you charge, and this and that, or what about this person, Sometimes people share, sometimes don't. I would share. So it's important to just have an idea so you wouldn't be overcharged. But also, if they have to fly in, you would have to get their flights. You will have to count the accommodation. How much is that gonna cost? And you can't just think, I'm gonna put them in my room. Yes, we stay in promoters' houses when we know them and we trust them. But if you're bringing somebody who has never come and they don't know you, and you're just gonna think that you just put them anywhere and that's good enough, that's not very cool. Yes, so make sure you talk to the teachers, ask them what they're comfortable with, and see whether you need to book hotel rooms, maybe you need to book an Airbnb or hostel or whatever, but you have to think about all of those prices as well. All right, now that all of these fun things are thought of and hopefully booked, it's now Facebook page, event page, and social media. This is the nightmare for me. I hate that part so much, so much. You gotta, make a Facebook page, profile pictures, banners, all kinds of promotional pictures. You have to, write everything down, think of the prices, what you're gonna charge, and then you have to promote. Promoting by just inviting friends is just not good enough these days. Uploading it on Facebook and asking people to share is not working anymore with the algorithms as they are. You're probably gonna need to do paid advertisements, so you have to count money, how much would that cost. Then you also have to use Instagram to reach other people that you would normally reach. Then you have to think, well, maybe you can go to LinkedIn, maybe you can go to Reddit, maybe you could go to Twitter, and all of the other avenues, anything you can. Of course, you have to have a payment method that is safe. You can whether do it with Stripe, for example, where you have to wait a week till you get the money, but they charge less, or you get PayPal, who you get money immediately, but they charge more. So depending what you want. So this is why, again, not being desperate for money coming in is really good, because then you could use Stripe, but you save so much more money when people are booking. But it has to be a safe way, because if something happens, this is a business and you have clients, and it just would be disastrous. So all kinds of now promotional things. Then you have to talk with the teachers, ask them to promote. You cannot force them to promote more than they are willing, because they have many events that they are attending and you are not the priority. So you are responsible for the promotion. The rest is just extra. It's just extra. But you have to do the work. You have to find ways to reach different venues, go to different parties, talk to other promoters. I promote you, you promote me, all of that. If you're not doing that and you expect that the teachers that you booked, the DJs that you booked, and the people you invite will call other people, and you expect that that's their job, it is not. You are the promoter, that is your job. It is not my job. If I come to teach for you, my job is to show that I'm coming and do as much as I possibly feel comfortable with, but you're not the priority. So you're gonna have to take responsibility for promotion as well. And final thing, be ready for the unforeseen, and trust me when I say unforeseen happens all the time, okay? You book somebody, their flight is delayed, they're not coming anymore. What do? Or they say they're gonna take a train, the train suddenly canceled. What do? You have to have somebody on a call, on a standby to come and, help you out with a class or something if the teachers are not coming, Or you made an agreement with the venue, you come into the venue says, sorry, but we're gonna start 1 hour later, and no matter what you say, I'm gonna sue you, they don't care, yes? So you have to be ready to pivot and think about all of those things that if they would happen, and I promise you they will, is what you're gonna do. So when you do all of what you need to do, then you have to make a list of all of the bad things that will happen. Or not, but something will. I promise you something will, even if it's minor. So just make a list and then be ready that definitely something happens that is not on the list. And that's just one of those things. When you organize things are going bad all the time, is how you recover. So it's very important to stay cool, very important to stay positive, and remember that even if bad things are happening, if you take it nicely and you're still seen with the people, and the people can see that you're relaxed and not stressed, they will respect you and they understand how things work, and they will forgive you. But if you're gonna get angry, mad, you're gonna start talking bad about something to your people who come into the event, that's gonna be the end. Yes, people don't appreciate that. So you have to stay cool. You've chosen this path. Believe in yourself. It can only get better. We learn from our mistakes, and the new ones always keep on coming. And the bigger the events, the more bad things to happen. So it's just part of life. But you have to understand that you have to have a list of things going wrong. And then when things still go wrong, stay zen. One final thing, okay? I literally switched off camera and I thought, oh my God, this is so crucial, and I haven't mentioned it. You have to have a good team. Now, if the event is small, you don't need a big team, but you might maybe need somebody to work at the door. You might need somebody to help you set up the place or something, but you cannot do absolutely everything on your own. And even if you could, you wouldn't want to, because at some point you wouldn't enjoy organizing anymore. It's just overwhelming. So you need a good team. And a good team is not somebody who will just, be free. A good team is somebody who will give you feedback exactly as it is, like super honest. A good team is who is reliable. If they say they're gonna do something, they do it. And in order to have a good team, you have to pay them. You have to. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be like, I'm sorry, we didn't make any money for this event. Can I give you 10 pounds? I'll take you out for the dinner. You buy them food or takeaway or something. And as soon as we start making money, I promise I'll give you, but if not, I'll feed you. I will, buy you a drink or whatever. But you cannot not do anything for them, because they're gonna be nice, but they're gonna go away. At some point, they will feel like, what is exactly the purpose of me doing this? So make sure you don't forget that good people is hard to find. So make sure you show some appreciation. There you go. As I say, I'm sure I forgot something because, there's always something. So if you think I forgot something and you would like to add something, please leave a comment. This is such an awesome topic, and I think it could be helpful for a lot of people who whether want to organize events or just really want to help out, or even just was curious about it. So leave a comment if you think I forgot something, and it would be interesting to read. Now, talking about the events, I actually started organizing events in Guernsey. Guernsey is a Channel Island, it's a small island next to UK. And I've been teaching there like very, very often, and they asked me to organize an event that it would happen a little bit more often, and so I started doing that. So if you're interested, you can actually come to Guernsey, Channel Islands, to our events. The next one is in November 22nd, 23rd and 24th, and if you would like to know more information, you can just send me a message and I will provide it, or just go to Facebook and go Guernsey Salsa Bachata Kizomba Weekender in November. There you go. Now, I'm gonna leave you with my kiss. Mwah. Subscribe if you haven't. And guys, I'm gonna leave you with other videos here talking about events and promoters.